Hi, my name is Jade Interlock, and I would like to share an experience that I have had. I am about to be 42 in December, and when I was 34, I was very sick. I had boils all over my body. They were the size of about that big, all over my entire body. My eyes were swollen shut. I was dysfunctional. I couldn't go out of the house. I had really bad stomach trouble, to the point where I couldn't really digest hardly anything without excruciating pain. It was painful for me to eat, and my stomach was just kind of staying in knots, and my health was just really bad. And I had been to countless doctors and specialists and all kinds of people. No one could figure out what was wrong, really. They did scopes in my stomach and cameras, and they said, oh, we can't find anything. Everything's fine. And then as far as the skin disorders, they didn't know what was causing it. They didn't know what it was. And so they experimented by giving me different kinds of drugs. And all of those drugs made me worse, not better. And the more of them that I took, the sicker I got. And I kept going from different doctor to different doctor, hoping that the different doctors would have something different or be able to find a cure. And it just didn't happen. I got worse and worse. So, I quit going to the medical doctors, and I quit taking the drugs, and I started trying various holistic things. I tried massage therapy, I tried acupuncture, I tried cleanses, if it was out there, I tried it. And after years of trying many different things with no success, I decided to do something radical and go to Peru and take herbs with a shaman and see if that would do any good. I didn't really expect that it would work because everything else that I had tried failed, but I kind of didn't know of anything else to try. I was kind of at the end of my rope, and it was like a last resort. So I sold all my jewelry, and I got the money for the airfare, and I went over there. And I didn't speak any English. I didn't speak any Spanish. They didn't speak any English. And there was a little bit of a communication gap there. But I showed up, and the shaman worked out. He could tell that I was not well, and so he worked out this program of herbs. And he put me on an organic, non-GMO, whole food diet. And he started giving me these various herbs. I think it was the second day that I was there, he gave me the ayahuasca tea, which is a very strong purgative. And it literally purges out of your mind, your body, and your spirit whatever is there that's causing illness. And it was terrifying because what happened for me first was that all the fear that I was holding inside started to purge and kind of try to melt out. But I was experiencing it, re-experiencing it as it was doing that. So this was 8 or 9 hours of just fear and panic. And I thought, oh my God, what have I done? I've made a huge error. This was not a smart move. I've come over here where I don't know anyone. I don't speak the language. They don't speak the language. And I'm probably going to die on the floor of this hut in the jungle, and no one will even know what happened. So I thought, I've made a mistake. I'm going to jump on the first plane out of here tomorrow. I'm going to sneak out early and go home. And I was praying to God, make this stop. I will never do it again. So, I couldn't leave right then because I was altered. So I was waiting till I sobered up. The next morning I woke up really early and I packed up all my stuff and I was going to go to the airport, and I bent down to pick my shoes up off of the floor, and I noticed for the first time I didn't have any pain in my stomach. And that was the first time since I was like 13 or 14. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I was shocked. I kept looking down and feeling my stomach. It was like, this is weird. And then I thought, well, maybe it's just momentary. Surely it can't, be permanent. But it was permanent. I'm 42 now, so this is 6, 7, 8 years later, and I still don't have any stomach pain. 0. So I thought, well, if one time drinking that tea took away all of that years of stomach pain, well, I'm going to have to stay here and find out what else does it do. So I did stay. In 2 weeks into being there, all my skin rashes and boils were completely healed and completely gone. Now I continued to drink the ayahuasca as well as the other herbs that the shaman made or concocted, and I stuck perfectly to the organic, whole food, non-GMO diet that he gave me. I followed all of his guidelines for what to do and what not to do to get well. And I noticed that there were people there from all over the world who, many of which were much sicker than I was, and much more serious illnesses. And I noticed that the ones that followed his instructions and did the program and really tried to help their own self get well, they all got well. That tea is really strong, and it purges also what's unconscious into your conscious, so that you can see what kind of debris is there that's causing your illness, and what kind of imbalances you have that are causing your illness. And it's really cool because it shows you how to correct the imbalances yourself. It is not for the faint of heart. It is really challenging. Some people get the idea they're going to go down there and party on this stuff. That's a bad move, and you'll regret it, and it will be a waste of your money. People that go there just to party have no result, and they usually have just a horrible experience. But if you go because you want to be well, and you're willing to do anything you have to be well, to look at whatever you need to learn, to grow, to make changes, if you're willing to do all that, and you're sincere in your heart and in your effort, you can get well. And that's what I want to share with people, is that you can get well from anything. Even the stuff that medical professionals have said there's no way you can be well. They believe that because they don't know how to make it well in this country. And one of the reasons they don't is because they don't treat the mind, the body, and the spirit. So when you go to Peru, they treat all three, and they rebalance all three. And they believe, and it's been my experience that it's true, when your body, your mind, and your spirit are all in harmony and in balance, joy and perfect health is a natural after effect. It's easy. It's a no-brainer. It's a no trying. But in our Western society, we're so imbalanced and we're so addicted to things that are destructive. You have to break all those habits, and you have to make new habits, and you have to be willing to change, and you have to be willing to stick to those changes. You also have to be willing to let go of fear and let go of the past, and move forward and assist in your own healing. So it's really good stuff, and I wanted to share my experience because I want everybody to know that you can be well if you want to, and if you're willing to work at it, and if you're really truly done being sick. And there is other options, and there's other alternatives. and I am happy to share more about my experience there. It changed my whole life in every way. When I went down there, I was sick, I was depressed, my life was not working. It wasn't working career-wise, it wasn't working relationship-wise, it wasn't working health-wise. It was completely dysfunctional and a mess, and I didn't want to live. And I came out of there completely well, really happy about life, really excited for the adventure of life. Not too long after that, I met a really good man, started a really good relationship, got married. I've been married ever since. Have a great relationship, have a great home. We have a great career going. Everything changed because I was willing to change. But the cool thing is that the shamans and that tea both show you how and what to do. And if you're willing to make an effort, the tea will help you through it all. And the shamans do as well. So you have a lot of assistance, you have a lot of guidance, and it's difficult, it takes courage, but it's much easier than staying sick for a lot of years. I do want to say that it is important to pick a good place when you go down there, because they're both good and bad places. You can pick a bad place and come out worse, or you can pick a good place and come out well. One of the places that I really like down there is called the Temple of the Way of Light. It's very well organized. You can look it up online. The program is really good. The accommodations are really good. The food is really good. They have a very high level of professional service there. So that's one of my favorites. It's important to do a lot of research, read blogs, read reviews on the different places. Make sure you go to a good and safe place. It's probably better to go with a friend and not go by yourself like I did. I was lucky. I didn't have anything happen. I felt fully safe the whole time I was there, and I had a good experience. But it probably is more advisable to take a friend. Just as a disclaimer, these are my points of view and opinions. They're not intended for medical advice or diagnosis of any kind. And that's all for today. Thank you.